All right. Welcome back. Today, it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by my brother, Carlos Duran, founder of Savage Encounter and Operation Purify. Today, we're going to be chatting about the incredible work Carlos is doing. They're going to be hosting a Veterans Week coming up in November. We wanted to get some information out to people. Last time we spoke, Carlos, you shared your story and kind of how you got into your service and your work. If you could just kind of give us a brief introduction of who you are.
I'd be happy to, Tim. Once again, thank you so much for having me on Tim Teaches. Thank you who's listening, who's watching, who's part of the Tim Teaches universe. Grateful for your time. So my name is Carlos Duran. Crazy story. I was born and raised in New Jersey, first generation Cuban American. Both my parents came over from Cuba, and English is my second language. We only spoke Spanish at home, and I didn't really begin to develop an English vocabulary until first grade. So thank God for Sister Veronica who made that happen. Listen, I grew up in Jersey right next to New York. Not the person you thought was going to end up spending 13 years in the jungle studying Amazonian plant medicine. And yet, through whatever folly and series of shenanigans that I involved myself with, I ended up living that life where I studied now for 15 years. A great concentrated portion of that spent in Central and South America studying indigenous plant medicine. And here we are today. We have this called Operation Purify. We are have an amazing support network like you, Tim, like the Grunt Style Foundation, that gives us the opportunity to speak and to announce to the world and anyone listening that we have a program for veterans. And for the first time, we have a program for veterans' families. And this is a healing program that's based on holistic treatment. The entire program is 8 weeks long. It involves 2 weeks in the jungles of Colombia with me, not the Amazon jungles, the jungle plains, but equally impressive, equally impactful. And the whole thing comes with a massive scholarship. And so having the opportunity to invite veterans and veterans' families, this is where I ended up after 15 years of, but yeah, not the guy you thought was going to be doing this. And you go back where I was in Jersey as a kid and where I was interested in, and just where I grew up. There was no way that connection was ever going to happen. Yeah. And it did, and here we are, brother.
Man, so I've actually personally never been to your retreat, but I've been watching and following along with you guys and what you're doing, and just the fact that you guys are reaching out and helping veterans. I mean, I just got back from a week with some veterans, and the change you see in these people is night and day. The work that you guys are doing with plant medicine is incredible. I mean, I had a gentleman who stage 4 cancer veteran, just end of his rope. I mean, this guy came in like, death's at his door, and there's a long story behind that. And death is not at this cat's door anymore through this work. And the change in the healing that you get through some of these plant medicines and your interactions with your higher power, because that's where it really comes in for me, is like, the last time we talked, I was dipping my foot into this work, but now I've had 16 whole ceremonies, and so I feel like I'm pretty in tune. I know I got a lot to learn still, but I'm not I'm understanding a lot more than I used to, But what do you normally see out of these guys and gals, because you're dealing with women and men?
Brother, I'm so glad. It's the perfect question. Thank you. I want to dovetail off of what you were saying about the individual healing, because there's another dynamic that's often overlooked, which is what happens when a veteran, that's a mom, that's a dad, that's a husband, that's a wife, goes back home having released the trauma, having released the shame. Now that family begins to heal. That family now gets closer together. Love begins to abide in that home. And those people begin to live a better life, now, not just as a family, but as individuals, right? Everybody in that home that has a better family life now begins to live a better life as themselves, for themselves. And it all starts with that nucleus member coming and getting that healing and being able to release those weights of the past that don't allow them to, no matter how much they want to, be present in the moment with those they love the most.
Yeah. I mean, just my personal story, for those who haven't watched this, I was a veteran, or I am a veteran who suffered from pretty bad PTSD, anxiety, depression. And this work, I mean, I did the medicine from the VA. I did counseling and therapy and uh, tried self, you know, alcohol,
Right.
all of the stuff, and nothing fixed it like plant medicine and ayahuasca is kind of what we're talking about here. And it's incredible. I mean, because it gives you the tools to go into those places that you will never get to in therapy. You just won't. As much as you hope you will, maybe after 20, 30 years, you can get to the same realizations that in a week or 2 weeks you can get through a plant medicine journey. And with the support of the shamans and the spiritual leaders that are there helping you out, I mean, it changed my life, and it changed a bunch of people's lives around me as well. I mean, it's not just the work that I've done, because it's helped so many around me. And, if you're watching this and you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, please, please, for your sake and for your family's sake, check out Carlos's,
Thank you.
yeah, please
Thank
do.
you. Yeah, that's operationpurify.com. And to just to make the thought whole, just go to operationpurify.com and you book a free call. It's just a free call. And we talk just like this. We can get on Zoom, we can get on the phone, and we just talk, about what you need, what you're looking for, where you're at. Is this program something that's going to serve you, that's going to serve your family, your goals? And if it's a fit, we have massive scholarships.
Mhm.
We have massive scholarships. Right now, scholarships are covering 85, 90% of the entire trip. So that means that right now, the individual for the entire 8-week program, a veteran is paying $700-800 and a couple $100 in travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean,
Yeah, brother.
uh, other locations are a lot more than that, and they don't.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and a lot of
And it's
people.
not 8 weeks long.
Yeah, no, and people would benefit from them, but they can't afford it, And eh, $700, $1,000 to change your life is nothing. Like,
Well, brother, yeah, and it's because we have amazing sponsors. We have an amazing doctor. He's a war medic, and he's a practicing MD now. His heart is a heart of gold. He sponsors entire retreats, and his company is called Coastal Ketamine and Aesthetics. It's a clinic out in South Carolina, and his name is Dr. Dan Ripley. And Dr. Dan has programs for veterans. He also has healing modalities with ketamine. He's amazing. Four Visions has sponsored countless veterans through Operation Purify. Grunt Style Foundation.
Sorry about
those guys. Those guys, right?
Buddy, I just did some
hop.
hop.
Those guys right there. And Grunt Style Foundation. And so I just want to give a shout out to these sponsors these are our allies that allow us to bring forward these programs, because it's a full 8 weeks, 3 weeks online, 2 weeks live in Colombia, and then 5 weeks live integration afterwards. Right. And it's an opportunity that you can give yourself. And it starts with a free phone call. There's nothing else to it. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just pick up that mouse, click on it, and book that free call with us.
What is kind of like the pre-care you do work with the people ahead of time? What can they kind of expect from that?
Well, the 3 weeks is preparation. So a lot of people haven't traveled outside the country. even if they are veterans. And most veterans that have traveled, a lot of them haven't traveled since deployment.
Hmm.
So they rotated back. It's been usually a minimum. Usually, most people don't come around till about three to five, right? So they've been home at least 3 to 5 years. Some of our guys and girls have been home a lot longer than that. So we do 3 weeks of preparation to get you prepared. And there's also individual attention, right? It's only 15 veterans. And like I said, this year it's open to veteran families. So if you're a family member, if you're a military family member and this is something that you want to experience, you can come and get the scholarship. You can come and have this opportunity to bring that healing back. And then you can come with your veteran family member or not. But this is something that we want to make available to military spouses, kids, moms, dads. If you have had a family member in the military and then somehow their loss or the pain that they came home with, it has been something for you to deal with. We want to offer that opportunity for healing in this retreat coming up November 8th to the 22nd. And so those first 3 weeks is about getting you ready, mind, body, and spirit, where you're at. Everybody's at a different place.
Hmm.
If you have a wife and kids, we're going to help you prepare them for your absence for 2 weeks. Because mentally that sounds like something, but boots on the ground, it's very different. When you're gone in the Amazon or in the jungle for 2 weeks in Colombia, and he or she's at home with the kids, right? So we help you have those communications, those conversations, and logistically what really needs to be taken care of for this to be as stress-free. There's going to be a little stress, right? But how do we minimize that stress? So we use our years of experience to prepare you for that. Maybe you're a single dude, right? Maybe you haven't traveled in a while, right? Whatever it is, wherever you're at, we're going to help you for the logistics and through the logistics. We're also going to help you begin to prepare your body. What are the foods that you should be eating, that you shouldn't be eating, right? How do you begin to prepare your space for this journey? And right there is where you begin to show up in your commitment to your healing, to your journey, right? Because there's a teaching in our culture that the being that we have here in front of us is a mind, a body, and a spirit. And we're meant to learn how to work as one internally. Because to us, the creator, everything that is beautiful is divine life is already in you. And the creator's in all the universe. Our God is everywhere. And our God is all things. But we often live with a separation. And so this healing that we want is because we have an attachment to pain, to trauma, and we need to let that go. And when I speak of God, it's not a religious God. It could be a religious God, but what I'm just talking about the creator of all life, the great spirit that gave life to all things, that we, having been created, many times suffer because we experience a disconnection from this great being. We feel that this great being is outside of us and oftentimes beyond us. And even at times we feel that this great being is not even for us, that God is for everybody else but me. Or we're angry at this being that we call God because of all the atrocities that occur in life. So there's a separation. When we come back to nature, we come back home, we come back to ourselves. And when you're able to come back to yourself without the noise, without the mind, without the fears, without the hype, you find something very interesting. You find that God was inside you all along. It wasn't this external theories. It was a very internal thing waiting for you there the whole time.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's life changing, mind blowing, soul healing and merging. I mean, all in the same experience, you know. And like I said, I just did a week, and every time I've gone back to the medicine, I've learned more and more, and the healing has been just stacking and stacking and stacking, and you want to be your best self and live your life in a way that's a positive uh way for the people around you, you know, because the healing that we provide for ourselves, you know, the more it spreads to the people around you, the more healed I get. The more people I help, the more people it heals.
That's right. That's
It
right.
heals my heart. And I mean, I feel like my heart's this big this morning because of some of the guys that I went down with and got some help for, and those guys, their families are texting us like, "Oh, what did you do to this guy?" Uh,
Yeah.
and it's that bringing yourself back to your higher power is really what it is. On the what is ayahuasca? Some people may not even know. Can we kind of jump into that a little bit so they have a little bit of understanding if they're watching this?
I'd be happy to, brother. Thank you. So ayahuasca is a general term that's used across many indigenous tribes in the South American region, specifically in the Amazonian area, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and very simple. In 99% of all the regions, it is a vine and a leaf. And the vine is harvested, the leaf is harvested, they're washed. The vine, which can be very thick, is beat typically with a club, or in more modern times we'll use like a thicker sledgehammer, but it's beat because it has to become almost paper thin. But you're talking about a thick piece of vine, right? That's then beat down by hand so it's as flat as possible with all the fibers exposed. And this is boiled. It's boiled. So physically speaking, you're drinking a vine and a leaf that are boiled together to make a tea. Now, I would like to address something that's very common where it's in the modern world, it's called a hallucinogenic. My ancestors, my grandparents, and I disavow this. To us, this is not a hallucinogenic. This is from our culture. It is over 5,000 years in practice, and we are not here to hallucinate. We're here to see the reality. What my grandfather used to like to say is this is a de-hallucinogenic, because we're here hallucinating, thinking that the computer's important, that the sky ride is important, that the boat's important, the car, the mortgage, and all that is a lie, because none of that is important. How do you know you can live without any of that? You can live, but yet we see. So what does this plant medicine? We call it a medicine. Why do we call it a plant medicine? Because it's two plants that in our culture is a gift from the divine mother and the sacred father, our creator, to humanity, so that we would learn to humanize ourselves. Our culture teaches that this is one of many doors. Our culture teaches that ayahuasca, yahe for us in Colombia, is one of many spiritual doors. There are many spiritual doors. This is just one of them. And this type of door is not a door that you have to adopt as a path in order to receive its benefits. Like you said, you can literally go to a retreat and spend a week in a retreat with the right place, the right setting, the right facilitators, and you might have 2 or 3 of these ayahuasca ceremonies. And every night literally becomes 100 hours of talk therapy in real time, where it's not just about the talk, right? The whole, you know it, right? And we're explaining it. Mm-hmm. You're literally you're not processing it here. It's really here. And you're really releasing whatever it is, whatever that biggest boulder is that's holding you back right now, that's what it's going to address. Mm-hmm. It's going to remove the things that are immediately keeping you from making the greatest advances in your life. Some people come for one retreat and they get everything they need. Some people come for a retreat a year. Some people drink 2 or 3 retreats for 4 or 5 years. They never adopt it as their spiritual path. They just come in for the treatment. Mm-hmm. They come in, they connect with nature, they prepare their bodies, they go through the ceremony, they drink the plant medicine in the ceremony, which is where we drink it. They have their connection, they have their liberation, and they go home. 8 months later, you might see them come back. And all of a sudden, they're gone and you never see them again. And you write to them, everything is excellent. They got what they needed. Right? So this is an opportunity for healing. This is not something 99.9% after 15 years of this journey, I can tell you more. It's really more. It's like 0.0000001% of the people that drink that actually adopt this as a spiritual path. For everyone else, it's a supplement to the path. We have Christians that drink with us. We have Mormons that come drink with us. Right? We have people from different Buddhists that come drink with us. Right? There's yogis that come drink with us. There's practicing, non-practicing Catholics, non-denominational. We have Jewish people that come drink with us. We have Arab people that come drink with us. We have Hindi people. So it's open to everybody, you see? It's for everybody that wants it for themselves. And no way does it teach any religion. The philosophies that we have are very simple philosophies. Our philosophies say that there's one creator for all life. This creator is in all life, and no life exists outside of the creator. That we as the created heal by being connected to the creator. The creator is within us and without us, right? And how do we have experience that connection? Through unconditional love. What keeps us from unconditional love? The shame, the fear, the anger, the guilt, the pain, the rage, the depression, the lust, the distractions, right? It creates this noise. It creates these barriers. You know, we have experiences. We tell ourselves stories about the experiences, trauma, impact. What does the ayahuasca do? It comes and it just gets rid of all that. But it's very interesting. I would like to caution by saying, you know, let's just say that whatever my trauma is, it's the metaphor for me being trapped inside of a cave, but the door's closed. And the ayahuasca comes and removes all the boulders from the cave. And we'll even clear the path in front of me. And we'll even tell you, hey, listen, you have to leave the cave. You know, you have to take these few steps, and then things will let go. She's not going to come behind me and push me out of the cave. Mm-hmm. You are required to do the work. This is not a miracle solution. It is a miracle in the sense that so much personal healing takes place in such short time, as we said, so well put. And I hear that all the time, by the way, from people that actually go to psychologists and psychiatrists that, my goodness, this felt like 100 hours of talk therapy. So you're really talking about 2 years of talk therapy without missing a single week, right? And then you get that in one night or in 2 nights, and that's a lot of release. And you get it in such a profound way, So when you have this release, this liberation, what are you being liberated from? From the boulders that are keeping you inside the cave, from the weight that's on your chest, that's in your mind, the guilt, the pain. And what most veterans come to find out, they come to Operation Purify to heal from military trauma. What most veterans end up healing from first is the trauma that got them to join the military.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
That when I saw that, it blew my mind because I did not expect that.
Yeah. What you're here for is not what you're here for.
It's not what you're here. Brother, isn't that crazy? And my grandparents teach that all the time. After every ceremony, they say, look, you think you know why you came to the ceremony. Later on in life, you'll discover why you came to the ceremony.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can go there, you can do this work, you can have the path cleared, like you said, but then you have to come home and life still happens. But doing this work gives you the tools. You have the tools. Not everybody uses them, but you have the tools to change your life. And you know that, okay, you know, somebody cut me off in traffic. Get here. Do your breath work in the car. Right. Come back to here and continue on your path instead of staying up here, going home, drinking alcohol or whatever, you know, that you're using to soothe yourself.
The self-medication behavior that you're talking about before. And then that's the thing. It's about knowing what the tools are, having access to the tools, having the training to use the tools, and having anything that encumbers you from successfully using the tools removed out of your way. So the only thing left is for you to actually employ the tool. Mm-hmm. That you have been cleared, trained, prepared, and resourced for it. Right? And is it really that easy? Yeah, it's really that easy. If you really set yourself up and you allow this to support you, it's a lot easier than whatever you're doing and facing now through alcohol, self-medication, pharmaceuticals, rage, and just habits, right? Habits that destroy us. We watch porn, or we have empty sex. We find ourselves staying up till 3 a.m, depleting ourselves of life force,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we will not stop for 30 seconds and love ourselves long enough to make a different choice. They're stuck in that old pattern,
Yeah.
And so if you're here now, I would challenge you. If this stuff is hitting for you, go right now. OperationPurify.com. Don't wait another second. Book the free call. There's a reason why you're listening to Tim and I right now. There's a reason why you're here. And this is the topic that you're getting. Act on it. Because the only thing that's left is for you to take that action. Everything else has been set up for you. We got it. We got the program. We got the pros. We got the scholarships. Let's go.
Make that call. Carlos, brother, I think we're going to keep this one short today because we're just focusing on this retreat, and I'm going to blast it all over social media. And
Bro,
if you are watching this, there's a reason you're watching it, like Carlos said. And I know there's been a handful of people that I've spoken with, and they just say, I can't afford it. And that's their excuse. You don't have an excuse right now. You are given an opportunity. Don't wait. Go to the website. It's going to be on the screen. Sign up and change your life and help yourself and the people around you. Carlos, God bless you. All the work that you're doing, helping veterans, helping humanity. It is a blessing to be your friend and to be a part of your journey.
Thank you, brother. I'm your mirror. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your platform, Tim. Thank you for your presence and your soul and your essence in this world, brother. You make me better. Just iron sharpens iron. And you listening, God bless you. Always, you and your family. Thank you for being here.
Amen. Thank you, sir.